Shalom, 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 shalom. We're gonna try to, Lord willing, make this straight to the point because I know I'll be going in a minute, but my other phone might die. I didn't bring my charger with me. Um, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Lord willing that they continue to endure and be sincere. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, Lord willing that y'all continue to endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Akwatiyam, believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. Lord willing the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Today's lesson is just a response to a video, the head brother of my camp, Yaramayan, it had to happen. A video, I don't know, when was this? I guess it got uploaded April 13th, 2025, I think. That's what it says on my screen, right? And the title is, White Folks Openly Reveal Why They Have Always Feared Black People After They Confirm This. Saying it again, white folks openly reveal why they have always feared black people, right? And the title of my lesson is From the Ancient World Till Now, we always been superior to Esau, right? We're superior to Esau. So before I even show you a little, because the main point is to play this video, Lord willing, I might do a screen recording on it too. But let me put the brightness on my phone. This is what it looked like. All right, and I'm gonna play some of it, and then we just gonna expound, bring out some precepts on it. But I'm gonna get this word for superior. I got a couple of them. You got an adjective on etymology.com for superior. Means high in position, higher or upper, situated above or upper, above, over, meaning higher in rank or dignity, the sense of a higher nature or character. But also sometimes in reference to higher elevation, right? Yeah, beautiful, high rank, dignity, higher elevation, situated above or upper or higher position. We were always superior to Esau. We were always of a higher rank than Esau, especially when it comes to nation, right? When you go into the Google definition, higher ranking or higher status, higher quality, higher level. Let me see. A superior letter, figure, or symbol, right? Just in this world, right? We're a superior figure or symbol to the world. Just like when it says in Proverbs, I believe, what is it, 29 or it's 21? When the righteous are in authority, the earth rejoice. Let's get that. Let me not butcher it. This is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, right? And even as ruling, we're better than them, right? The earth is in shambles when they're ruling. Another meaning is being superior means being better than average or better than others of the same type, either in quality, quantity, or status, right? It can also refer to a higher rank or position, or the state of being above others in importance, right? Our nation is of an importance. Let's get this one. This is a classic. This is a classic, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, which when you read Deuteronomy 1, which you guys can read that, Deuteronomy 1 and 1, you see that Moses is speaking to the children of Israel. So in this verse, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Moses is speaking to the children of Israel. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Right? So our role is supposed to be superior, to be above all nations on earth. Not just only Esau, even the son of man, right? Or which is technically going into the other nations. We're supposed to be over the sons of the wicked and over the sons of men, right? Because through the Spirit, the children of Israel are the sons of God. You know, we were created to be superior, right? Let me get another one. Let's go to Second Ezra. This is what Ezra said through the Spirit. Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, in verse, I'm gonna start at 54. It says, after these things thou madest Adam, whom thou hast set as Lord over all that thou hast made. Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So all people come from Adam, and even the chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. Ezra is an Israelite. He's a priest. The Lord really made the world for our sakes. In what sense? To be rulers over the earth, right? Well, I could tell you Islam is garbage. Islam is not the truth, right? Yeah, Islam is not the truth. Y'all don't even bring forth prophecy, you know, what y'all believe or whatever you consist of. You know, Allah is not telling you to go to the highways and byways and teach the people why are they scattered four corners of the earth. You know, even in your Muslim or Adib book, it even talks about the children of Israel. You know, nobody in Islam is out here prophesying. Y'all praying 5 times a day. I should have brought it. I knew I was gonna bring it. Go read Babylon and Timbuktu. It tells you that Muhammad, before y'all religion got upgraded, Muhammad, y'all used to believe in the damn moon and the stars. Muhammad upgraded it because he was watching the Israelites. He even persecuted the Israelites because we didn't want to follow y'all dumbass ways. So y'all persecuted the Israelites. Why do you think you pray 5 times a day or face towards the east where Mecca is? Because we were praying technically 3 times out the day or even more, and we were facing towards the east, towards Jerusalem, towards Yasharallah. Y'all followed us, right? And when you go into scriptures, all nations knew who we was. No other Ishmael, he was following under Abraham. And people say, oh, Abraham was Muslim because he followed God. Yes, he did. But it's, you got scriptures to understand. Even Yahweh Shai understood of the Son of Man. That's why even Yahweh Shai said that even Abraham looked forward to that day, the coming of Yahweh Shai, which is in different examples in the Old Testament is dark sayings, right? So this is not for Islam. So you can take that over there and go kick a soccer ball, right? Well, at the end of the day, where's the prophecy saying that you'll be hated against and that you're going to the highways and byways and you teaching your people about this so-called true God? You know, I'm not seeing it, and I'm not here to hear it, you know? So with that, you can keep it moving. Right? Yeah, they are nowhere near the same. Nowhere near the same. So getting back to this point, this is another example of being superior. And we're superior over Esau, Ishmael, what you call the so-called Arabs, the people that want to call themselves Muslim. But Muslim is not a nationality. It's Ishmael. Ishmael, the Arabs, Iranians, right? Their nationality, the Africans, the Chinese, the Japanese, They're all under us. The children of Israel is superior over all nations, right? Right? So let's get into this video real quick.
White people fear black men. That's not fair, but it's true. There was a real fear that if you let blacks get control, everything would change. And there was no, with some people, there was no idea that there would be any fairness or any democracy or anything, that there would be a well-run city government, county government, whatever. It was like, if this happens, we're lost. And it was just a terrible
Hold on 1 second. The lady said that basically talking about blacks, if we was ruling, there wouldn't be no fairness. It really wouldn't be no government. But let's go to this. And then I'm going to go to this Judith, the 5th chapter, right? Which just shows, even in the ancient time, all nations feared if we was to follow the ways of the Lord, that they would go back into the ways of the time of David, being subdued. So this is Isaiah, the 9th chapter, in verse 6. For unto us a child is born, talking about Yahushai. Unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Right? And that government consists of the elect, starting with the 144,000. Yeah, the God of the Bible, his name is Yahweh, and his son is Yahushai. Right? So this government, what this lady said, it wouldn't be no government. Let's look up the word government real quick. Because over here, we get the etymology of words, starting with the other apostles on down, and Great Millstone, because, English is a dumb language. So when you go into the word of government, it's a noun, and this is on etymology.com. Government is act of governing or ruling, system by which a thing is governing, control, direction, administration, to steer, be at the helm of, or govern, rule, command, or direct. Right? You got certain examples, like in Zechariah the 14th chapter. If none of the nations come to the high mountain, which is in Zion, to worship the Lord and keep tabernacles, you would be hitting with a rod, right? And that's justice. Let alone the children of Israel ain't gonna be teaching one another. We're gonna be teaching the nations how to keep our law. In that day, when we get in the kingdom, that's when all nations will be established to keep the law. So let me just show you as an example. This is what judgment, or this is what a government would do when it followed the order and the laws of the Lord. This is Zechariah the 14th chapter, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem. So this is after all the nukes. This is another example for that Islam to not be accurate or any other belief outside of the belief of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai and everything that consists of this Bible, regardless if you believe it or not. Right? This is prophecy. Right? So if when those nukes drops, when Yahushai come and set order in the earth and destroy 2/3 of Jake, until kill the third part of men, which is really consistent of Esau, the wicked and other nations, destroy Israel, but it's going to be rebuilt and level out America. It's going to be totally destroyed into a lake of fire. It will never be rebuilt again. Only lizards and Komodo dragons, right? Vultures, animals that eat flesh, they're going to be over here, right? After that is fulfilled, the Lord is going to bring us back down here for a point in time. The Lord is going to let the earth clear up, because it's going to be uninhabitable because of with the nukes. It's gonna change the floor mat of the land. The air is gonna be chemicals all in the air, right? So when we come down, the Lord is gonna establish order. Jeremiah 16:16 gonna put the spirit on the men of the Lord, right? And we're gonna go hunt the nations, and starting with Esau, we're gonna hunt them out of those holes. Isaiah the 2nd chapter go into it, right? We're gonna search for them out of they damn holes. And Esau is going to be under subjection for 1,000 years. Revelations, the 20th chapter, it kind of from verse 1 to verse 3, that's going into, you know, the European, when Esau grew into stature and Yahushua put him in the hole. And then 1,000 years he rose again, which is the Renaissance. And then verse 4, it jumps up to our time where we're pushed to take this MOTB. And then verse 6 and 7 is the established after the MOTB. When this is all destroyed, when we come down, right, the elect is going to establish order, which is really government on the earth, right? So again, and I'm going to read the brother precept down there. He got Revelations 2 and 26 and Isaiah 14 and 2. Right, so Zechariah 14 and 16, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the feast of tabernacles. And it shall be that whosoever will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship. This is not dealing with the Israelites, because the Israelites are going to have glorified bodies, the men, the women, and the children. We're going to be in line with the Lord. Now you're going to have some Israelites that are going to be rebels on the earth that didn't get beamed up, and we're going to, if they don't cleave to this, which if they do, they're going to get new bodies. They're going to understand this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. But if not, they're going to be put down, right? But this is really going into the other nations. The other nations, the Lord preserved you, right? Some of y'all is in certain areas that's not going to get bombed. Some of y'all going to be in bunkers, starting with the elites, and you're going to get captured, devoured, and you're going to be preserved for slavery, right? So if anybody do not come up to Jerusalem to worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, even upon them shall be no rain. And that's talking about drought. It's going to be famine upon you, no food, right? You're going to have it the worst. It says, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, drought, right? There shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So guess what? You're going to be smiting. You're going to be smiting if you don't come up to keep tabernacles, man. That's real judgment, man. That is order. That is government. So hell yeah, you should be afraid if Jake get in rulership, right? And I'm going to get Judith the 5th chapter, but I'm going to read the brother's precept first. This Revelations 2 and 26. This is from the brother Gabar Ya'ala, warrior of Yahweh. Lord willing, I said it right. Revelations 2 and 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Jeremiah 16:16. Those that devour us, we're going to devour them. Revelations 3 and 10. Those that lead into captivity shall go into captivity. Those that kill by the sword, live by the sword, shall die by the sword. Right? You're going to get double. Right? Double. Especially when the chaos, the destruction on this side, and then double after. When the Lord, when we come back down on this earth, all nations is getting double. Zechariah 2 and 8. Any nation that touched the apple of the Lord's eye, the Lord has an evil eye against you, man. Right? Isaiah 14 and 2. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Right? This is called you reap what you sow. And all kingdoms has servants. Right? And that goes to Daniel the 7th chapter, I think around 25, 20 something. Right? We're going to take the kingdom. Taking the kingdom is taking the spoil. Like if regardless the order, if your woman look good, your daughter, she's getting taken. Right? She's gonna be a servant, a concubine. Right? And your children, they're gonna be servants. All kingdoms have servants. We in United States, and United States is the head of the whole earth, even the rest of its foundation. The whole beast with the 7 heads, the 10 horns. Every nation on the earth is under them. Today, right now, Esau as a nation is superior over all nations, right? Daniel, the 4th chapter, verse 17. The Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men. Who is the king today? Egyptian against Egyptian. Esau is the ruler of the earth right now. This men, I've been going to the same spot for the past few days and last week, where they go fishing, and none of them is really catching fish since I've been up here. Cops come up and say, do you got your fishing license? You can't even, you gotta have a license to fish. You can't collect water, right? Esau is putting all these laws and legislations, man. They're the ones pushing out tariffs and currency money. Oh, you could do this, you can't do that. Immigrants can't come. Now you got to have a enhanced license or whatever it's called to be able to fly, right? They're superior on the earth. They're on a higher level, right? But truly the earth was made for the Israelites to be inferior. We failed because we turned our backs from our power, right? We just had to expound on that. Wait, I think ain't you bringing out what I just brought out? Let me see. Let me make sure. Oh no, okay. I see you, King. Zechariah, the brother brought out Zechariah 14:12. He went up a few verses above where I was at. Oh wait, hold on. Let me read this Genesis 27:35. And he said, thy brothers came with subtile and have taken away thy blessing, right? And that goes with it was predestined for Jacob to have the blessing of Esau, right? Because when it goes back to him selling his birthright, he didn't even care about his descendants. He sold his birthright. He didn't even tell his father he sold his birthright. But it was predestined going all the way back to Cain and Abel, the righteous and the righteous and the wicked. It was always going to lead to Jacob and Esau, Cain and Abel. That's why Cain through the spirit was cursed, which in another level could be a dark saying, because some people are like, oh no, he was just cursed to be cursed. No, that was a sign of the beginning of Esau, right? Having no melon, right? But for those that got ears, they can hear, right? Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand on their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Right? So anybody that fought against Jerusalem, and you go to what, First Maccabees 2:10, there's not one nation on the earth that did not touch our spoils. All y'all been documented. You've been marked for everything that you have done to the children of Israel, man. From this time all the way back. The angels is always watching, man. That's why the eyes of the Lord is 10 times brighter than the sun. 10,000 times brighter than the sun. The Lord is always observing, and he has his other creations, which is the angels. Of course, Yahweh Shai, right? The spirits that come and go from the heavens to the earth. They're watching everything. Everything is documented, right? So even you, Jake, you being recorded too, right? The brother put Daniel 7:8. It says, and I considered the horns, right? And when you go to verse 7, that deals with Rome. Verse 8 is going to go into the part of that fourth beast we're in now, right? So again, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among another little horn. That little horn is America, right? And this is the meaning of horn, just so people can have the sense of it. Horn means a king or a kingdom or a power. So Esau is technically a king today. His rulership, which to have rulership, you have to have a kingdom, right? To have a kingdom, you must have power. Going back to Genesis 27, Esau was blessed with the sword. So throughout his whole life, he was going to live and move off of that sword. Revelations, the 6th chapter, verse 4. The red dragon had a great sword, right? And yes, a sword is a literal weapon, but just in general, Esau's weapon is just a sword. So in today, Esau's weapon is not just a regular blade or a sword. His sword now is nukes, missiles, grenades, technology, right? That was a good point, King. Little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn, the 3 horns plucked up is the British, French, and Spanish. That was the 3 little wars that America went through in order to make its independence. But it's not truly independent from Britain because it's still connected to Britain, because Britain is part of the 7 heads, right? It says, where eyes like the eyes of man and a mouth speaking great things. And that's what America does. And their great things is the Democrat and the Republic. Just going back into Rome when they do church and state, right? Isaiah 34:2, for the indignation of Yahweh is upon all the nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter, right? And through the Spirit, the Lord is giving us the blueprint. It's already done, right? Isaiah 46:10. The Lord has declared the end from the beginning. And since the Lord is, he's not in the mix of time. He created time, so he don't have time. So he's really father of time. So truly, the Lord already, if he knows the end, it already happened. If John the Revelator seen the vision of the end, seen the vision of the MOTB, it had to already through the Spirit happen for him to see it in the mind of the Lord, right? The same with Ezra's, when Ezra's had the vision of the crowns of Yahushua crowning the elect, or standing boldly for the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. For him seeing that through the Spirit, it happened in the mind of the Lord, if you can get it. The brother said horns mean power, yes, or kingdom. French, British, and Spanish, right? And for the edification, for, when brothers dropping precepts, why I'm bringing it out, right here, you got to know the comment section is part of this thing too. If brothers is dropping things, especially if I line up with them, if they singing the same song, the church is what's going on with what's being spoken and what's in the comment section, right? So just know everything I just said, the brother is bringing the meaning of horn, which is a power, a kingdom, right? And a king. And then he put the 3 horns that the little horn plucked up, the French, the British, and the Spanish, right? And that's in history. That's in Americans' history. That's in America history, if you don't know, right? So that's a good point. And it shows you the end of all these nations. So that right there automatically completes us showing that just shows you that we're superior, because in the end, it's going to all benefit the children of Israel, starting with the elect, right? So let's get back to this video again.
Let's get to it. There's an unspoken tension in the air. Why is it that in stores, on sidewalks, in schools,
Wait, hold on.
in the workplace?
Hold on, because the lady did say it's a fearful thing if, we get into power, right? So you go to Judith 5:21, it says, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And through the Spirit, the elect is doing the will and the ways of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Revelations 11:11, when we get the Spirit of life in us, it's dealing with the elect. We're going to stand on our feet, which we already doing in the highways and byways, these sit downs. The elites, the ones that sit at the round table, starting with Esau, Ishmael, Moab, Ammonites, the Africans, so on and so on. They're seeing us, man. They're seeing us, and it's putting fear of the Lord upon them, right? The brother put Revelations 14:3, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. And that's really in the time of Yahushai, when we get beamed up, they're going to be singing that song of Moses and the Lamb. But in the Spirit, while we on this earth, the 144,000 is singing that song. Like Paul said, let there be no division. The elect, the 144,000 are the ones that are teaching the same song, right? And yes, some of the elect men is in these other congregations, but prophecy's gonna have to come to pass, and they gonna truly know who the true men of the Lord. Ain't no damn unity camp in no other congregation. You can't have unity camp if y'all teaching 1, 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, 5 things different. Ain't no damn unity. You have to teach from Genesis to Second Maccabees, Genesis to Revelations. Your whole prophecies, parables, dark sayings, and melts have to be the same, regardless how anybody feel. This thing is not about feeling. This is about bringing forth the truth. 1 John 2:21. It can't be no lie of the truth. And this is the truth, that we're supposed to be superior over all nations of the earth. You know? Yeah, right? The correct doctrine that the men of the Lord teach, starting with the name of the Lord. Right? You got to be pushing the name of the Lord with that doctrine. Right? So let's get back to this video.
A lot of white men
Good
are
point,
scared
King.
of black men because of their lack of exposure to black men or people of color. I'm not scared of black men. I'm not scared of Latino men. I've been around them my whole life, right? But I feel a white officer might be around a black guy and he feels that emotion. He's scared of the black guy, and next thing you know, the black guy runs. He's got to shoot him because he has the power, because he can pull it out of his pants, and he shoots the guy. And I feel that happens over and over and over again, that white men are just scared or intimidated by black men for no other reason than the color of their skin. And it's really the ignorance and the lack of exposure to those people. Yeah, I find that interesting that the only thing that seems to scare white people are black men. Literally, they swim with the sharks. They hunt. They go in the mountains and hike with the bears. They go to safaris and hang out with the tigers and the lions. I mean, literally, they go into the ocean and they find these indescribable ocean beings. They jump off a 1,000-foot cliff. They jump off of cliffs. They skydive. I mean, literally, white people do everything you can imagine that would kill them. And the one thing that only scares them is black. And that's unfortunate, because our history as black people does not reflect in any way factually that we are a violent people. And I believe Minister Farrakhan said that the best when he said, we don't have a history of killing you.
Wait, hold on. See, this is why we don't listen to Farrakhan, who is of the NOI, IUIC, you going off, being connected to them, where y'all not teaching the same damn thing. Right? That's bringing confusion to the sheep. I just had to say that. But again, Farrakhan is not for us. Now, yes, there's certain things the Lord allowed him to say about the children of Israel, which we are the people. That's still confusing, how you can use Islam and use the Bible. That's it's just crazy. But she said we not a violent people and we never did Esau no harm. This is how you know even Farrakhan don't have the truth, because yes, we did. We did. We weren't violent like how they say a hoodlum nigga, just shooting people for no reason, right? We were violent, not even violent. We were ordered by Yahweh Bashim Shai to set order. That's not really being violent. That's putting order. That's establishing righteousness. That's establishing order, right? That's going back to Amos 9:11, right? To rebuild the tabernacles of David. Bringing back the tabernacles of David is the 12 tribes being in unity, not being divided into 2 kingdoms, the southern and northern kingdom, and having the nations in subdue. Because after David gave up the ghost, Solomon had peace for 40 years, because all the nations was under subjection under him, because the Lord had appointed David to put order. So this is 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, just to correct Mr. Farrakhan that we did put a lot of Edomites to death. And sometimes, yeah, like Saul was stubborn or in his own pride, and he didn't kill that king when the Lord asked him to kill all the Amalekites, right? And that's just a small percentage. Amalekites is just a grandson of Esau. It was other Edomites, right? So this is 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, Yahweh sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man, woman, infant, and suckling, ox and sheep, and camel and ass. Right? And you could keep reading the rest of this. The Lord told Samuel to tell Saul, destroy the Amalekites. Spare nobody, man, women, infant, suckling, ox, sheep, camel, or ass. Kill everything that belonged to them. Children, men, and women. What is you talking about? Yes, we did afflict Esau in order to subdue them, man. We had to, it was some stubborn people in their nation. When you go into Numbers, the Lord said he was going to be at war with Amalek from generations and generations. And we in this end time generation, and we still at a battle. This truth is battling Esau evermore. Again, Amalek is the first of his nation. They're the top prize on this side of the world. For this power on this side, they are the top people on the earth. Amalek, which is the small hats, the Zionists, right? And then you other Caucasians, right? You go hand in hand with them, right? You got other examples, but let me give you this future prophecy of them too. If we did it back then, let's even see a future prophecy when we gonna do it. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. It says, the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. And when he say Esau, he's talking about all Edomites. When he say Amalek, that's just only talking about the grandson of Esau. That's not talking about all Edomites. But when he says it's not going to be not any remaining of Esau, that's talking about all of them, all from ancient Esau, like the top Esau, all the way down to all the other descendants, the nieces, the nephews, the grandsons, the granddaughters. All of them are going to be destroyed after 1,000-year reign of Yahweh Shai. Right? So they even got it back then. Let me look up this one where I could show you, because David didn't even just only subdue Esau, he subdued all the surrounding nations around us. For 40 years, Solomon didn't have to deal with no war. No nation bumped against us. The Lord was definitely connected to us. David subdued Esau. So this is 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 14. And he put garrisons, which is like a military footprint, military might, or a military stable, in Edom. Throughout all Edom put he garrisons, and all they of Edom became David's servants, and Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went. So if we already put some to death, we put garrisons around. Let's look up the word garrison real quick. 2 Samuel, the 8th chapter, and verse 14. Let's look at that word garrison. Right, the word garrison, H5333.
Strong's H5333. Netziv.
Yeah. Military bases is just like a military footprint, just like the United States. Something place, set over, a garrison, officers, military post, right? And who allowed that to happen? Yahweh. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai wanted that to happen. Let's get this one. 2 Samuel 8 and 11, going up a few verses. Which also King David did dedicate unto Yahweh with silver and gold, that he had dedicated of all nations which he subdued. So that's just to show you he did not only subdue Edomites, he subdued all nations. Right? The brother he's dropping flavor right now. Just to back it up, Revelations 11:11, what I said earlier, After 3 days and a half, 350 years, the spirit of life from God, which is the same spirit that Adam had, right? That the spirit that Yahweh Shai was talking about, the Rakak Wadash, entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Now y'all gotta understand the falling away for 350 years. After that falling away was fulfilled, now the son of perdition has to be revealed. So we need the Rakak Wadash in order to reveal him, right? They hate us because we have the blessings and they want it back, right? And that's a fact. That's why Esau doing certain things to try to get his blessing, because it's not written in prophecy that he would get it back. Really, it goes back to the garden with the serpent, right? And that goes, you remember what he said about the wife, the woman, her son, and his, and her seed through the spirit is Yahweh side, and the serpent seed really is Esau, right? They were going to be against each other, right? One is going to bruise the head, and the woman's seed is going to bruise the heel. Really just goes into Yahweh Shai pulling you down from your stature, right? Genesis 3:15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel, right? And so through the spirit, the serpent seed and the woman's seed is going to always be against each other until the Lord finished the course of Esau. 2nd Ezra 6-9, for Esau is the end of the world. Yo, and just after we got done reading it out, this is the first man in 2 weeks that caught a fish. Come on, man. Call out Yahweh Shemal Shai. This is Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now through the spirit, that same spirit fell on all the descendants of Esau. This is why they truly have a grudge on us, right? And even though they have a grudge, when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, when they see Yahweh Shai right on that mountain, they're going to be afraid, but they're going to still fight him, right? Esau is still afraid of us. We seen in this video, they're afraid of us, but they still afflicting us. They still trying to do certain things against us, you know, because they have the same spirit as Esau, man. They're trying to stop us from getting that blessing. This is why they do depopulation, right? They think if they depopulate you, you won't get the kingdom, right? They even trying to, Bill Gates said he's trying to cool the earth down by hiding the sun. So they're using technology to hide the sun. But when you go into Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, I believe, let me see if this is it. Yes, this is Jeremiah 31:35. Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea, when the waves thereof war. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from me, saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Right? So if the sun that light the day, and the moon and of the stars for the light by night, right? If those things be removed, then the seed of Israel shall cease from being a nation before me forever. You know, the Lord put that in Esau to try to, this is why he tried to search the distance of the space, the ocean, and the sea. Let's continue reading and see that. Thus saith Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, right? The measure of the earth, right? When you go into the word earth, that really goes into land, right? Well, they talking about a wall of ice. It's still land masses that haven't even been searched by man, right? So it says if heaven can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel from all that they have done, saith Yahweh. Right? And part of the heavens is space. And what even lines up with that too is even going in the ocean, right? Because the ocean is going into the heavens too, or going into the sea, or you can use that for the earth, going in beneath the earth, right? Going down into the ocean, right? Because the ocean could keep on going, depending on what tunnels and what area you take. The ocean, no man on earth ever touched the full bottom of the ocean or the sea. It says, yeah, that's basically it. So again, of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahweh. So if those things is searched out, those things is measured out, Israel would be no remore. I mean, it won't be remembered as a nation anymore. And Esau is doing that each and every day, coming up with new inventions to go deeper in the ocean. Tell you, we're gonna go on Mars in a few years, but they never left that dome. You know. The brother put Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock, right? And that goes with the Isaiah chapter 2, verse 19 and 21, right? And when it says fishers, that just brings you back into the gospel. The disciples were called fishers, right? He said, I'm gonna make you fishers of men. So it's really talking about the men of the Lord. The 144,000, they have the most important role on the earth. Now you have men that's probably not even doing the work, not even teaching. Your role is just the role that you have. You either might be a father, you might be a husband. You still got to teach, right? But the 144,000 is teaching the nation. They're making themselves a spectacle. And it's really the Lord. 1 Corinthians 9 and 16, Paul said he was compelled, he was forced to teach the gospel. So you got to be forced to teach this gospel four corners of the earth, right? To really truly beat 144,000. I'm not saying that I am. Starting with the elder apostles on down the great millstone, we always say that the hopeful elect, because we're hoping, and this is what we strive. You want to keep doing your profession. The lesson I did a few days ago. If the men of the Lord, the 144,000, this is their profession, to teach the word, to be an example, to be a spectacle, to look like a fool for the Lord. The scary thing for Esau is that we're growing back in the knowledge. And it starts with the apostles, the prophets, and evangelists. Actually, that's crazy. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a lesson later on this verse. I think, and now it's crazy. This just came up. This Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20. I'm gonna read it in NLT. It says, "Together we are." Let me start at verse 20. "Together we are His house, built on the foundation of the apostles, the prophets, and the cornerstone is Hamashiach, Yahushua himself," right? And that even goes with Luke 6 and 46. The foundation is Yahushua. He's the rock. He's the cornerstone, right? And it's the apostles and the prophets. You go to Revelation, the 18th chapter. This is how you know the Lord bringing back that order. The prophets is on the earth, regardless if you believe it or not. The true prophets, false prophets, and lower ranked prophets that's probably in whatever estate they in, and probably not, probably don't have the prophecies lined up, and if the Lord dealing with them, He gonna sprinkle that knowledge, and they gonna see, those is the men of the Lord, and then clean up the stuff that they saying. We all have to grow in this thing, man. Right? This is Revelations, the 18th chapter, verse 20. "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her." This is talking about daughter Babylon. Why it's not saying women and children, right? Because the women and children, you have a matter, a point in this thing, but who really matters is the men of the Lord. Any woman watching this, like, literally listen to the words I just said. Not my words, but what the Bible said. "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her." This whole thing is about the men of the Lord. You play a role because you are a product of the Israelites. You are a product of Jacob. You are a descendant. But who is the forefront? Who is the soldier? Who is in the front line? The men of the Lord. Just men in general, right? In the law, he says, set men of the head of the congregation. Ezekiel, 34 and 31. The flock of the Lord are men. That should make all you women happy because you have an easier job. You don't have this role to make yourself an example because your emotion and feelings would be in the way, right? You couldn't deal, you know? So you got to, this is really to humble you sisters by the Lord. When the apostles and the prophets are avenged on this, you're avenged. You want the Lord to talk about the teachers and the men of the Lord. Because this is the example to show you that you women and children, you are on the bench. You in the backside. Because how can a man plant his seed if you in the forefront? That don't make no damn sense. How can a woman be in the forefront? How a man gonna plant his seed and you over here dead? If it's no Israelite woman, we gonna pop a beautiful seed in one of these other nations, man. So that's the humble any sister that have a problem with, brothers always speaking about the men of the Lord. Well, where's the group of women that the Lord called to be on the highways and byways? It's nowhere in the scriptures. And any woman doing that, you going off. If you don't repent and change your dumb little silly Pokemon ways, right, you're gonna be destroyed. The Lord didn't put that pressure on you, man. This is full court pressure. It's not meant for you women to be out in the field. You truly supposed to be like Deuteronomy 28 and 56 on the righteous side. Y'all didn't even want to touch the ground. You wanted to be in the house, right? This society make you want to be outside. Oh, it's getting warm outside. I want to go do this and do that, man. Don't you know it always been summer for generation to generation? Women did not have that mindset. Women wanted to have children. Women didn't want to die a virgin. You go in the book of Judges. With Jephthah, his daughter had to die a virgin and they had to mourn for her. She had no husband and had no child. Michelle, she died a old late. I believe from scripture wise, she didn't have a child until old age. Now, if I'm mistaken, she didn't have one at all. But how it's read, it says she didn't have a child until I guess she was old. Right? Back then, women wanted a child, and a husband. That was it. That was it. You was in alignment with your role and your order. Now, women want to be everything. Everything under the damn sun. You even want to be the important role. Right? So I had to get on there. Let me see what this brother dropped. The brother said, the Lord Yahweh took away our power over the generations because of sin, from the sons of God to David to today. Now we are weak and low in stature. That's a fact. And that just shows that all this is documented and recorded. And right now, this is the best time in Israel history, because now the Lord is dealing with us again. The falling away was the biggest moment of our whole history. 350 years without no teaching, no priest, don't know the name of the Lord at all. This was a pivotal low estate that we were in. Now the Lord is allowing this truth to come out. Oh man, call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Just having the name alone should be, a thankful thing. The brother Hakeem is in the building. 716 fit, man. Yahweh Shemashai Brakatah King. The brother dropped 2nd Esdras 5 and 54. Consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you. Right? And that hit in every time. When we were in the Roman captivity, in the Greek captivity, right? The Persian Medes captivity, the Babylonian captivity, every time in our history, that one verse, even because Esdras, this spirit came around him in the time of the Persian Medes, right? When he was rebuilding the foundations of the ruin. 2nd Esdras 14 show you he was rebuilding, he was rewriting the first 5 books of the Bible, right? Through the Rakak Wadash. But throughout history, you know, that scripture hits for every moment. And this one right here that we in right now, it hits even more. In 2025, Israel is in the lowest estate because, you know, when the verse say, children is your oppressors and women rule over you, through the spirit, yes, that's your children. But when you look at Isaac, Isaac's son is Esau. So really the child or the children that oppress you, Esau is the child of Jacob. He's ruling over space. He's ruling over Jacob. And women, he's our oppressor, and women rule over us. Right now, the top so-called ones that's in charge or rulers or get their way on the side is Esau and women. Women get their way, man. You know, women get their way. And even because women is fragile, they're, oh, this, and oh man, I'm alone, I don't have this. And guess what? You gotta take yourself or get yourself out the spirit just to give them the comfort that you need and give them enough. You gotta take yourself from having a stature spirit, right? You can't be too austere in your household to bring order to your children because your women might not. It's multiple women. They don't want to pop their child. Guess what? You committing a sin when you holding back the rod, right? When you put in order, regardless if you strict, a man's supposed to put discipline. If our children was 18 years old, who's to say when they ready to get out this house that they'll leave? If you're not putting Yahweh Shem Shai in the household, most women are not having a mind on Yahweh Shem Shai. Being honest, a woman, it might, you know, a man's logic is different than women. Women is thinking of their significant other different than a man is. You know, men, we are in a low estate the way how our women is in this world. Not even just your wife and your girl, but our women as a whole. Our women as a whole. I just seen a girl on this video where she said, this dude, he was faithful and all of that. They had a good relationship, but he wasn't making more money than her, so she broke up with him. I need a man making more money than me. Then she's like, even if he making more money than me, and then eventually I make more money than him, I gotta let him go. And she said she's old fashioned. He said, ain't a woman supposed to be a help me? She's talking about all her accolades. He was like, man, we don't care about that. You doing that for you. The Esau got you women in the okie doke. Most women say they old-fashioned. To really be old-fashioned is talking about women in the scriptures. A lot of y'all women are old-fashioned because scripture-wise, you wasn't taught a certain way. Some of you women say you old-fashioned. You got with a man of the Lord. You wasn't wearing a dress. You had some ways, but to be old-fashioned, you go back to the roots of the scriptures, right? You go back to the old ways of being in the house. In slavery, when we wasn't in that field, the woman was in the house. You're not old-fashioned because a weekend come, you want to go out. You're not old-fashioned. We are in a low estate. Our children, they thinking about electronics and a damn video game. Kids is not thinking about reading. Getting their mind right before they go do those things. We're in a low estate, right? A woman will compass a man. That's a new thing on the earth. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. If you read that in the Amplified Bible, the lady say, we don't need no food or clothes, just get us pregnant. Right? Jacob's trouble, regardless if you got a woman or not, you know, the men of the Lord are going to be precious, more precious than gold. Right? And when we talk about men, we talking about the elect men. It's only going to be few. Women, the women that you might be entertaining right now, hey, you sisters, you gotta understand. I'm not talking about IUIC. Forget what they saying. They get completely off. Power Rangers, Purple Ranger. Women, the way how you over your man now, you have to always put in your mind there's gonna be another woman the Lord is gonna send to be to be under his feet too. You know, there's a lot of women that's gonna be a pick me in that day, right? The brother said Yahweh Shai has gotten his glory back first. Yahweh Shai has gotten his glory back first because of his sacrifice, all praises, right? That's St. John the 17th chapter, where he asked the Lord, give me back the glory that I had before the heavens and the earth, right? The brother Akeem, he put Jeremiah 31:22, how long wilt thou be about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man, right? In many ways where a woman would tell you you rule the household, but because you see something in the way that you handle it, no, you're not hearing me. Guess what? Then now you gotta change how you deliver things because of a woman, man. Some of us don't realize those things is lowering a man. Now he got to keep changing himself, keep changing the way that he delivered. It was never made like that. Go read what David did when Michelle was talking about him dancing for the women. He said, what? I'm dancing for the Lord. But guess what? If I did dance for them, they would honor me. And he walked away and started dancing in them women's faces. And the Lord basically closed her damn womb where she couldn't even have no damn child. That's what you freaking get, man. Speaking about the men of the Lord. You know, women's supposed to be gentle. They supposed to be obedient. A man is the might of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We were made different than y'all. Our logic is different than y'all. You would never see in the eyes of the Lord, but in the scriptures, the Lord showed us how women think. Women, oh, I don't know the Bible, but you did it. Guess what? The man is supposed to know the attribute of a man and a woman. The menstrual cycle. Did the Lord give y'all a separate book about the menstrual cycle? A man was taught the menstrual cycle, and he was giving it to the woman like, hey, when you get your period, you got to be separated. No woman was given that. A man was, and it was written down. So a man has to know the attribute of a man and a woman. The Lord said, hey, honor your wife as a weaker vessel. She's a weaker vessel. So that's why some things she ain't going to get, she ain't going to understand. So sometimes a brother is going to have to yield on it and then just reminisce and just keep it moving. Because a woman is not going to get it. In the kingdom, she's going to get it. Damn, I was doing all of that in the kingdom. She's going to get it. I bet you, Michelle, when she said that, the whole time while she was living, she knew she fucked up. You ain't having no child until you old. You might even die and might not even get one. That's the new thing where a woman is compassing a man in many ways. A woman can get paid a certain way. You women, a lot of y'all get the easy way where downtown assistance is easy for y'all. Men, I had many problems with downtown assistance. I couldn't keep doing that back and forth. Y'all even got patience doing that. But y'all get it in certain ways. But men, Esau expect for men to work. They not telling you, but they expect y'all. I've seen like my sisters get food stamps, cash assistance in one day. And it took me a week, a month to get those things. And I was doing it the same way, learning how to get emergency food stamps. I was learning all the schemes. Going down there, knowing that I'm a man, it wasn't getting it. And I seen my brother Boosie, seen his sister do it. Got it quick. And she was working a job, getting crazy hours, and still was getting connected. This site right here, society, is made for Esau and you women. Right? You tell a woman and right now it's cool to be a hoe. But when a man a hoe is a whole problem, and women want to think that it's okay for them. A woman, Karuchi, wasn't made to keep going in and out. This goes back into the video. But Esau is afraid when we put order in the house. When we put order in our community. The only way we put order in our house and our community is by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And they're afraid of that. Philippians 3:20. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahushai. And that's how a man of the Lord is. Ephesians 2:20. The men of the Lord conversations, again, is our conversation is in heaven. Everything that's orchestrated or ordered, it comes from the heavens, man. Yo, even the way a man's stature, how he moved, that's all from the heavens. Why do women, oh, I'm so afraid of if I do this, I'll be afraid that you might do this. And then most women, they'll say they're afraid and then they still do it. You're not truly afraid of me, but my all-star man, that all comes from the heavens. Come on, man. Verse 21, it says, who shall change our veiled body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. The men and the women, even the children, our bodies have to change. We ain't gonna have no monstrous children, no young niggas. We ain't gonna have women that's hopping around and you ask her body count, she'll lie and say 6, but she really got 11. You know, come in this truth, like all of us, I think of my past to make me better. I'm not a woman. If I was a woman and I had the body count that I have as a man, oh, me knowing this, I would be ashamed. I shouldn't be talking to a man in any type of way. The things that I did in my past and the Lord allowed it, then brought me in this truth, that's mercy of the Lord. I'm going to be better. You know what a woman say? Oh, yeah, you saying that, but you not a woman, so you would never know. I mean, I do know because it's in the scriptures. If the roles would switch, the same way how a man is acting now, if the roles would switch, we still would have to. You would still have to obey the Lord. So don't never say that. Goes back to a woman's emotion and feelings. You can't never accept a right answer. If the roles would switch, if I'm believing in this word now, if my role was the opposite, I still would have to have the same mindset of playing my role. A lot of you women, you the same that you doing now, and you bump against this thing, and then 1 minute you in, 1 minute you not. If you was a man, you still would do the same thing bumping against it. And guess what? All things would be on your shoulder and you would fuck up even more. You would be worse than what you is as a woman. The Lord had mercy on all of us, making us who we is, man. And Esau don't want us to play our role. Don't want you to be a man of the Lord. Don't want you to be a daughter of Zion, a princess, a mother, a sister, right? A wife. Doesn't matter what number, who you is. You as a wife, you already sealed. Esau don't want us to play our role and cherish it. He wants us to be against each other. Rivals of the sexes. He wants you to be that. Every lesson is to edify and build you up. Sometimes it tears you down, but it's all about edifying, because to edify, go to the etymology of the word, it means built up. You're building. That's what we're doing. The brother, a king, put Isaiah 32, 9 and 11. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. The voice of the Lord is the scriptures and the men of the Lord. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. It's another one, because it was this lesson I did. These sisters was paying $1,200 for they condo. Rent went up, and then they started paying $1,400. It's a verse in I think Isaiah, maybe it is 32. It's a verse in Isaiah where and it goes exactly with that. You know, women are at ease, right? Getting everything their way on this side. Truly, a woman should be everything should be more beneficial for the ministry. You know, that's the number one thing. Like, a woman having a man of the Lord, that right there is the best benefit you got on this side. Doesn't matter how austere he is, however he is, you know, that you could have worse, but the Lord gave you the one that was designed for you. So you gotta get with the picture, because Esau wants the worst for you. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai wants the best for you. He want to give you an unexpected end. So some of us is put in a situation that we don't have no control. The Lord set you up. Let's actually get that in Jeremiah 10:23 real quick, and then we'll play the rest of the video, and then we'll end. This Jeremiah 10:23. I'm gonna read it in I'm gonna read the KJV. It says, "Oh Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that directeth his steps." In the NLT, it says, "I know, Yahweh, that our lives are not our own. We are not able to plan our own course." So just like how this role women is over the man right now through the spirit, we didn't have no control. This was set up because what happened over history, the people that you get with is all set up by the Lord, right? The congregation that you with. I'm not gonna lie, we had our own camp, TCF, the chosen few. right? That didn't work out. We was left, trigger, square. Then we joined HOI, right? And brothers was watching other people, but then we start looking at breakdowns like, hey, we seen it like this, brothers saying it like this, and then we go asking elders. They was like, no, we see it this way. It's interchangeable. No, we don't see it that way. Well, teach it interchangeable. No, we can't see that. We had the Lord removed us. Regardless if I say we left, the Lord removed us. Then the Lord had the spirit on, and I'm just saying this not to boast on brothers, but I'm just boasting on the Lord that he was using these brothers. That's how I know the Lord is dealing with Yaramayan, and at the time Daniela. You know, the brother is not with us, but the Lord was with that brother when Yaramayan said, yo, GMS has got 100% truth. This man is not boasting on men. He's boasting on the spirit that's on these brothers that's teaching his word. And brothers, he gave us those videos. That he gave me one video. I don't know about everybody else. And brothers started following step by step. Who you think playing that? Not Yaramayan. He's just a man moved by the Rakak Wadash. And I know it. This is my big brother. Like, this is not a friend. This is not a homie. This is my older brother. This is my head at camp, let alone technically my boss at work. The Lord used this man to say that, and we all got in order, just like any other brother. Now, if you follow somebody saying Yahuwah, the Lord set your course to follow some Yahuwah. If the Lord set you up to follow Judah Yahweh, the Lord set you up for the okie doke. Some of you women is dating men that's slacking in this thing. The Lord set you up. Whoever you was in your past life or whoever you is in this present moment, the Lord set you up. You are being recorded. That's why you got the lot you got. Some woman is blessed with a brother that's probably giving it his all. You are blessed more than most women. I'm just only saying that for you. You got to really know the Lord bless you, because you could have had a lazy, or you could have had somebody saying, Yeshua, Yatua. The Lord set us up in front of the eyes of Esau, man. The brother put Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedges of Ophir. Right? And that's talking about the elect man. This is not talking about Maurice, right? This is not talking about LaShawn, right? Kushan, right? This is talking about the elect men. Those is those precious men, right? Those diamonds in the rough, right? Right? Because if you're not, man, you're Esau not worried about you. Through the spirit, he not. So let's finish this off.
Men killed by white cops. Violent people. And I believe Minister Farrakhan said that the best when he said, we don't have a history of killing you. When you watch the video of the black men killed by white cops in Louisiana and Minnesota, it brings us into a need for soul searching in the country. All that Bill Clinton did and said, one of the profound things he ever said at the end of his administration was, on race, we have to get to the roots of black pain and the roots of white fear. Clinton, a white kid from the South, had seen everything. And white fear is that you walk down the street, like Barack Obama said about his white grandparents, and they're afraid because they have black men walking about 30 feet behind them. Black pain, you've been stopped for no reason while walking to the mall, or you've been asked by an usher at a basketball game to show your ticket when the 4 white friends from the office sitting next to you don't have the usher ask them for their tickets. That's black pain and white fear, and together you can see it with these cop incidents. The white cops in Minnesota and in Louisiana showed fear on their faces. In Minnesota, because the gentleman said he had a permit for a concealed carry, we went for his wallet, the cop shot him. And the cop was more unhinged than the African-American girlfriend, who remained calm. In Louisiana, somebody shouted he has a gun. You could see the white fear on the face of the cop as he pulled his gun out and shot him in the chest. Dick Gregory, who was an African-American comedian back in the early 60s, once said about racism in the North and South, there's racism in both places. In the South, you can get close to white people, but just don't get too big. In the North, you can get as big as you want, but just don't get too close. We still have racism in this country. We have to get to the roots of black pain and white fear, or more of these things will happen, and it'll keep happening. White people fear black men. That's not fair, but it's true. What makes this even more unfair is...
Wait, hold on. Another thing, you see how that's another example to show you even Esau know who the prize of our nation. Why he didn't say just black people in general? They don't fear you women. This is why they knew, just like the serpent. That's why through the spirit, Esau is the serpent. He beguiled, lied to Eve. This is how he know he can manipulate you women. Hey, it's okay, sis. You could dress half naked. I'll accept you, but he won't. But really through the spirit, they looking at you as a whore, a freaking animal whore. They know who is the weapon of our nation, the men. Who can really whoop them, tear them to shreds? Men. Who really puts order in the house? Men. Why was they trying to make single households? They were trying to remove the man, not the woman. Because if they were trying to remove the woman, why do they give the children to the women? Most court either divorce or a child situation, most women win. If a man do win, he got to have a good lawyer. Well, the words that he using, a lot of information, right? Like how I had custody of my daughter, I had information backing me up that didn't align with me, but that was against the mother, right? But what if it was the opposite? She didn't have anything bad, and we trying to. I would not have the custody that I have right now. Because this society is made for women to win. They know who the weapon is. They know who to tear down. The man, right? That you just heard it. He didn't say nothing about you damn women, right? And you gotta really be listening through the spirit. Esau know that the ones that's the best target to manipulate the men is y'all women, but the ones that they gotta tear down is the men, right? The brother dropped John 12:40. He had blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them, right? And a lot of our people are blind, spiritually blind. What is it? The Lord have given them, putting them into a deep slumber. That's why Revelations 11:8, a lot of Jake are still in a dead state. Like the deep slumber that he put in Adam, the deep slumber he put in Jacob in Genesis 28th chapter, a lot of Jake are in a slumber, right? Or sleep. The brother Gabar Ya'ala, he put, in Warrior of Yahweh, he put, they should be afraid, especially when Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gives his men spiritual power. Coming soon, Lord will. Right? Yo, that's a fact. You see that? Right? When the Lord put the power on the men of the Lord, we're going to be like Samson. Actually, let me get something. Let me try to get it before the brother Gabar Ya'ala or the brother Hakeem try to put it. Let me hurry up and get it. Let me hurry up and get this before that brother get it, man. I believe it's in Zechariah. Let me hurry up and get this, because I know them brothers might get it before me. What is it? This is Zechariah 12:8. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at the day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of Yahweh before them. Right? The men of the Lord are going to be like many most highs on the earth. We're going to be gods on the earth. I was listening to this dumb dude on TikTok last night. He said that I am the Messiah. I am the Hamashiach. Come get salvation. And the man was saying that y'all be thinking about the 12 sitting on the throne. No, the throne is your mind. That's not a literal thing. Y'all thinking about somebody having powers. He was talking about Jew, some whole other stuff. He said, no, that's not it. This system is this world, this government is gonna always go. And when he established us, we're not gonna be here. But this world, this system is gonna always be around. Nigga, you a fool. You are a fool. So I had to ask, so Yahweh Shai got a cell phone? Yahweh Shai got a TikTok and making money off of TikTok? That don't make no damn sense. For Esau to be afraid, they're afraid of us having a kingdom. So what does that mean? We got to have a kingdom mindset on the earth. You got to have a kingdom mindset on the earth. That's what they're afraid of. You having a kingdom mindset. The kingdom mindset is you ruling. Women being in order. You planting your seed freely. Not worrying about them taking these mother sucking shots. A woman giving birth naturally instead of laying on her back taking the epidural, right? And you're gonna be fruitful. That was the main thing told to us in the ancient world. Be fruitful. You cannot be fruitful with one woman. She gotta wait 9 months to have another baby. Women were created for man. Plain and simple. We're gonna be fruitful. We're gonna plant our seed multiple times. Esau is afraid of that. What happened in Egypt? They was trying to kill some of our sons because they was saying they even said if we keep multiplying, if they enemies bump up against them, that we would join their enemies. That's the same spirit with Esau, man. He trying to put you on to having a minimum of 1 kid. That now they trying to make robots make kids. In a minute, just like Salaki, just like they make people have they gonna make people have a license to have a kid. The brother Gabar Ya'ala, he put Eve is with Esau. Yes. Through the spirit. Yo, and some of y'all Eve don't even know it. Eve, y'all really don't even know it, man. You know? That's why when a woman really come in this truth, her submissiveness is supposed to show more. That's supposed to talk spiritually more than her mouth. And that might sound harsh. There's nothing wrong with a woman talking, but Sirach 26:14, a loving silent woman is a gift. A woman is not always in the matters of men. Women is not always saying, "Oh, you're always with your brothers." Go read First Ezra, the 4th chapter. When a man is a king, that man got so much stuff he got to rule. And what mostly happen when a man, most of the time, you have one-on-one time with a woman, and she looking beautiful, smelling delicious. I'm not gonna lie, you gonna touch that butt. You gonna get frisky. Literally. It's literally, that's what women was made for. You know, a man just chilling around a woman, she's smelling good as hell. You all energized. I'm telling you, gonna take her down like Chris Brown the right way. You heard? Women coming this truth. You got women, oh, I want a man of rank. What the heck? You was never taught that, man. Well, where'd you get that? You got that from this freaking world, man. You know? Sirach 25:24, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all died. Look, that's what Esau want us to. That's why Esau is allowing women to be nude, right? I just seen an article. OnlyFans woman did a threesome on a balcony of a hotel. Guess what? I think she fell over the railing. She in the spirit world. 2 Jakes, day or 2 days ago. One of them was twerking on their car and fell, bust her head. And I think another one did the same thing. She was dancing on the hood of her car, and she fell off, and an SUV drove over her. Another girl, she was with her friends. I think with the video I seen, she was in front of the car, and the girls that she was with drove over her, and the car behind them drove over her. She's in the spirit world. You know? It's a lucky family. She in the spirit world. All praise to Yahweh Shemashai for, the few of you women that's, fully playing your role to the best of your ability, There's women out here, they doing, there's women out here that's, just like the elect men, right? That's, what is it, 2 John, the 1st chapter, to the elect lady and the elect child. It's some woman that's acting or playing a role or hoping to be of the elect in their role and how they move in this thing, how they treat their husband, how they in order. You know, y'all women are one of the diamonds in the rough. Some people need to get spiritually touched up, need to get sharpened, and that's the spirit. Most women are not gonna be full throttle in this thing. Some women are still dealing with things that they having problems with themselves in the world. That's how you know that y'all weak. Y'all came in the truth. You should be holding on your comfort, but you know y'all still doing better than the most. Y'all doing better than the most, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. But Esau wants you women to go off, right? They want you to be a headache for the man, right? 2 Samuel 23:8. It says, "These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Teshmonites that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adon, Adino, Adino, the Izanite. He lift up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time." Really, the whole chapter of 2 Samuel the 23rd is why they fear us, right? And now, the mighty men now are prophets, man. That's why the 144,000 are mighty men of valor. That's why when you go to 2 Timothy, what do we tell you? 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Hamashiach. No man that in war entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." Right? We're soldiers. The mighty men of the Lord, which is the prophets, the apostles, the evangelists, the teachers of his word. Because I can't say, oh, we're the ones with the spears and the swords. The Lord, we don't got that no more. We don't got that military might. Right? The number one thing is our weapons are not carnal. You know, our weapons of warfare is the sword. Ephesians the 6th chapter verse 17. Right? So it is some mighty men that's among that like I look at David. David, even though he might not teach, he got to be one of those mighty men in the ancient world. The Lord took a lot of our talents from old, whatever we did in our past life. And he took that and he's using you for something else on this side. You know? But that's a fact, bro. That was a super, super good point. He put 2 Samuel 23:15. "And David longed and said, oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." 16. "And the three mighty men break through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it, and brought it to David." See, mighty men. It says the three mighty men break through the host of the Philistines, right? We were so mighty, it could just be two of us slicing a whole army. You had Samson, he slew 1,000 by himself. We was vicious. You had Moses when he was holding his arm up, and you know, of course, you're getting weak because you can only hold it for so long. Jacob and I believe Caleb, or is it somebody else? They was holding Moses' arm. You know, as soon as the arm go out, the Amalekites would beat Israel. But when that arm stood up, Israel was overpowering Amalek, man. I'm just saying this. Sorry if I offend anybody. No nation on earth can fuck with the children of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Talking about the men, right? Yahushai is the arm of Yahweh. And even you men of the Lord, when you go into the word man, not men, man, that goes back into the meaning of Adam, mankind. So the men of the Lord are supposed to be like Yahushai. So we're hands too. Yahushai said in Luke, when the dude gave him one coin, he hid it. He said, I knew you were all stern man, so I was keeping it safe for you. He's like, man, you knew I was all stern. The men of the Lord are all stern. That means harsh and rough. Some of you women got harsh men. They might answer you rough. They might answer you harsh, but they still love you. Because if he not telling you I'm done with you, I'm leaving and really literally kicking rocks, like literally leaving you behind, then he fed up. But it doesn't matter how harsh. If that man's still dealing with you, still love you, still in your kid's face, still in your damn face, you know what I'm saying? You better look, you are lucky. Lucky. The Lord could have set you up with a simp fluky in this truth, man. You would have been with a measle. You just getting by in the truth. Right? The Lord is setting everybody up. You men of the Lord is setting you up, man. Right? That's why right now is a very important time to be watching a one camp, not watching many camps. If you watching one camp, I'm with Great Millstone all day, every day. Lord willing, he don't change me, because I see brothers coming out this thing. Man, the Lord is blowing candles out like it's a birthday, and we don't even celebrate birthdays. Blowing them out. No, you should be watching one camp, sharpen yourself out, and then you watch these other camps to see them go off, and you show that through the Spirit, you showing love by rebuking them. Right? Everybody else is looking at it and oh, this and this and that. Esau, yeah, they're against, but Esau watching, he knows what's going on, because this was going in the past. Right? What did the Pharisees and the Sadducees? Man, crucify him. Even you lower level, crucify him. You had other ones that was hiding. Peter, oh, I wasn't with him. You had real men of the Lord hiding in this thing. Then Yahushua gave up the ghost, went up to the Father. Then the teaching came back around. Man, didn't we tell you not to teach in his name? They healing, doing the same thing as Yahushua. They said, man, if they keep doing it, the Rome gonna take our power from us, and then we're gonna lose all our followings. The Esau, they know. Pontius Pilate, he knew. He's like, I don't see no fault in this man, Yahushua. Pontius Pilate, his wife said, that's the man I had that was giving me trouble in my dreams. They know the men of the Lord is coming. The man of the Lord is back now, man. So all this back and forth, Esau know. That's why he rather depopulate you, because if the men of the Lord is getting on all the children of Israel, you ones that's teaching his word, you women that's out here looking flimsy, you weak ass niggas, when the men of the Lord is shaking the hand, Esau don't like that, because that shows that order is coming back in Israel. Right? The men of the Lord is rebuking all angles. Spiritually, they're unisex. This teaching is towards women and men, women, and children. You gonna get this mother sucking work like loaded Lux. Esau don't like that. Man, they growing, they getting wiser, man. They getting this understanding. Oh, man, how? The one billionaire that drove and got out the car near the apostles way back in the day, he said, man, how did y'all get this truth? Man, we paid millions, billions of dollars for you not to get this. You can't stop what the Lord already prophesied is going to happen. Khan, like-minded brothers that's singing a song. It's like a Tweety bird. The brother, a king put Micah 7:10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? My eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Right? And that's how and broken down. Yeah, again, is Great Millstone and affiliates, is one true song, man. One true song. And it's not just only about the law, man. It's about the faith. What stems with the law and the faith is the prophecies, the parables, the dark sayings, the milk, the volume of the whole book being taught and bringing forth, 100% truth. The brother put, through the Spirit, GMS has 100% truth. Yeah, that's a fact, man. And we not talking, people say you praising men. We can go to 2 Peter's chapter 1, verse 19 to 21. There's no private interpretation. When these scriptures was written or spoken, they were moved by the divine power, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is how the scriptures got written. This is how it got prophesied. Any man that just out here just teaching and it's not through the power and the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that is of man. When you go to Acts the 8th chapter, the angel told Philip to go this way, I think near Gaza. And then the Spirit of the Lord told him to go near the chariot. And the dude, he was like, Philip was like, yo, do you understand what you read? If he said, no, unless a man guide me. Oh, brother, that says man. You got to understand. When I just quoted from verse 26 on down, the angel told him to go this way, and then the Spirit told him to go to the chariot. So that's all man's going to the Lord. So if he was moved by Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, the eunuch was not learning from a regular man. He was learning from a man of the Lord that was moved by the Rakak Wadash. Right? And to truly have the Spirit of the Lord is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 10 and 11. There's multiple examples, but you're going to go into deep things. Right? Deep things and dark sayings, prophecies. You can go in deep things that some people can't even handle. Somebody could have been in this thing for 12 years and you bringing out something that's so heavy. Oh, no. And then next thing you know, that's a problem and they fall out this truth. You know, we got other examples of, the Spirit of the Lord, that water, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? The brother put Jeremiah 3:15, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, according to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai's mind, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And this goes back to Esau. We don't put them to fear just because how strong and diesel he is. Because in slavery, it was this one dude, he was diesel as hell. And Esau, just his job in slavery was he was a breeder. He would plant his seed in multiple slave women, but he was a brute idiot. He was slow. He wasn't smart. To Esau, he was stupid, but he was a brute with force. So they wanted a brute person to be mixed with some woman that's work ethic, so that they can have somebody strong for slavery and somebody that has the common sense of a woman, or however they was lining it up. So he was bringing forth men and women, just having sex with women, and Esau wanted us dumb. That's why not Theodore Roosevelt, I think it's John or David Rothschild, he said he doesn't want a nation of thinkers. He wants a nation of workers. Because if we're thinking, that is the main, that's what scares them. When a nigga can think for himself. Let me get this one, then I'll read the brother's precept. This is another one that makes him scared. This is what it's saying, but the opposite of what this verse is saying. Revelations 11, verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell upon the earth. The two prophets is talking about the southern and northern kingdom, Judah and Ephraim. Right? When we're in one with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, we torment the nations because we're in order, entwined with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai under the law, statutes, and commandments in the faith. We were out of order, especially even more when the kingdom split. 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. The brother put Acts 20 and 26. Wherefore, I take you to record this day that I am pure from the blood of all men. I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Lord. Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock, over the which the Rakak Wadash have made you overseers, to feed the church of God, which he have purchased with his own blood. Right? And that shows you that the men of the Lord, the teachers on this side, the true men of the Lord, right? Their profession is to feed the sheep, to feed the flock of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. That's your main purpose on this thing. Yeah, the Lord bless some of you brothers with a wife. Some of you brothers might have wives. The Lord bless you with that. But I'm sorry, that still is not over the ministry in no type of way. No type of way. You got brothers that went to sleep and laying with their wife, a baby, and then they wake up and they be like, man, then you go watch a video or you go do a lesson. What is drawing you to wake up out your sleep to go do a lesson? I know I even do it, and I know some brothers that wake up and go watch a lesson before they brush their teeth. What is drawing you to do that? Because the Spirit of the Lord is on you. This is the most important thing on this earth is the ministry. If we didn't have this ministry and you just planting kids, that has no value. Because even the Lord said it's better to have no kids than a godless child. You know, this is the main important thing. You know, the Lord gave you a gift to teach. So we're supposed to be using that gift to benefit. This is all a benefit for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If nobody's teaching, how can the name and the doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai be magnified? Right, let me get these. I'll get these few ones. We'll finish the video and then we'll close. I'm gonna get this one. It's St. John 17. Salaki family, I'm trying to get the right verse. Okay, this is St. John chapter 17, verse 11. It says, now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. And I come to thee, Holy Father, keep through thy own name those whom thou hast given me, which is really the elect, that they may be one as we are. Right? And the elect on this side, whatever cloth you're from, you're going to be one with Yahweh Bashim Shai when it comes to teaching. Yahweh Shai is with the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai, we're still on the earth. Because just like Yahweh Shai, we got to suffer. Just like Yahweh Shai, we have to minister this word. Yahweh Shai didn't have the position of being mighty, Salaki, with a sword or a weapon when he was Yahweh Shai. So on this side, the Lord removed that mighty men. You know, we always got that removed, but we had mighty men in the time of the Greek captivity. Right now, this is about being mighty through the Spirit by teaching. You know, when the Lord created this foolish teaching for believers. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21. So this is only for believers. You're standing on the corner for believers. You're doing sit-downs only for believers. We're not doing this for decoration. This shit is not for entertainment. We might look good, we might look rough, but who gives a damn? This is about, is you getting edified? Is this afflicting you in the spirit like, dang, man, I need to do better. Oh, I should be doing this. That's what this thing is about. This is not about wasting my time or your time, right? This is about making the name of the Lord known in the earth and his doctrine. Teaching this word to all nations on the earth, regardless if they hear it or bear, because even this gospel is for the other nations, their destruction. That's why Esau got to hear this. You got to get this work. The 2/3, you got to get this too, because part of the gospel is you being destroyed. Part of this gospel is the elect hearing that they're gonna get saved and get glorified bodies. Right? The brother put he went up 2 verses. St. John 17:9. It says, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. Now when it says the world, he said, I pray for them, I pray not for the world. He's talking about the world of Israel. When you go to St. John 3:16, he said, for God so loved the world. For God so loved the world of Israel, because every nation has a world. The Chinaman got a world, the Edomites got a world, the Africans got a world, the Israelites have a world, right? So for God so loved the world that he gave his son. Yahweh Shai died for the nation of Israel. But in this verse, it lamies with it that Yahweh Shai is praying for them that the Lord has given them, which is the elect, who was called from the before the foundation of the heavens and the earth. The elect, you were called way before. You were with Yahushua way before the heavens and the earth. And Yahushua is not praying for the world of Israel. So all Israel, you 2/3, Yahushua is not praying for you, right? And let me show you, because the disciples is the example of the elect. So I'm about to give you this verse, and I'm gonna finish that. Then we're gonna finish the video, right? This is when Yahushua told Peter, he prayed for him. This is Luke 22, verse 32. I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Wait, hold on. No, I'm gonna read 31, because 31 is a good point too. Yeah, so this is Luke 22 and verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. So you elect men, and even you women and children, Satan wants to sift you out. This is why when we was in the world, through the spirit, Satan on the left-hand side did not want you to get this truth. This is why you was connected to weed, you was hustling, whatever it was, he was trying to use that excitement on there for it to make it hard for you to let those things go. You know, when you come in this thing, you gotta, hey, you might not drop it right away, is because it's still spirits holding tight on you, right? Matthew 12, verse 43 to 45. But when you started letting those things go, those spirits will leave you. And if you didn't try to put a new spirit, the spirit of the Lord in you, and it comes back empty and you ain't trying to build up on it, it's going to be like, oh, you was empty. Guess what? Then you go back to smoking that blunt, because you wasn't making your house, your temple, furnished with the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right? So this is just the elect men, right? Satan desire to have you and sift you out as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. This is how you know the elect cannot be removed. They can be tested. Going back to Job, Yahushua is that faithful servant that got tested and tempted by the angels, and even you elect are faithful servants, and you're getting tested too. But Yahushua prayed for you so that your faith fail not. This is why brothers is so serious and stern about this truth, and even you women, and even the children. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. How do we strengthen thy brethren? That goes back to what the brother was bringing in Acts 20 and 28. Take heed, therefore, unto yourselves and to all the flock. So unto yourselves and the flock, over the which the Rakah Kodash have made you overseers, to feed the church of God, which he have purchased with his own blood. And we feed them with this spiritual food. What did he say? He said, eat this bread. This is my body. This is my flesh. That bread is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Matthew 4 and 4, right? We don't just eat bread alone. We eat every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. St. John 17 and 10, he says, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. So the elect is belong. What is Yahushai is Yahweh's. So these elect were picked out by Yahweh. Jeremiah 17 and 10. The Lord search the hearts, try the reins, and give every man according to his ways. Jeremiah 1 and 5. He knew Jeremiah before he got in the womb. That's not just only Jeremiah. Jeremiah is an Israelite, so that's the example to let you know the Israelites, all you Israelites, from the elect to the 2/3, the Lord knew you before you even got in the womb. That means you were already in the spiritual realm, or he even knew you in his mind, because in order for you to get created, you had to be there. The Lord knew Esau. That's why as soon as they come out, the wicked, as soon as they come out the womb, they go astray. Right? They're estranged. Right? The Lord knows everybody. That's why everybody lot is their lot. Everybody that's in the nation that they're in, the Lord already knew what program that you was going to be used for. Sirach 39 and 21. All creations has their usage. Right? The brother put Isaiah 45:17, but Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Right? Now, yeah. It's a good one. Right? But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Right? And that everlasting goes into eternity. Right? It's an endless salvation, right? We're saved from sin, saved from those that hate us and our enemies, and ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end, right? And Israel is going to be ruling forever, ever, and ever, and ever, and ever, and ever. And what makes it even better that a world without end, the Lord could have destroyed us all the way in the time of Moses, but Moses plead on our behalf. But it was already meant that the Lord was going to fulfill that promise that he told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Regardless if Esau afraid or not, we're going to get it. I bet your monopoly money on it. Israel is its own world. That is a fact, right? You are of your own world, consisting of your faith and the law, statutes, and commandments, but even more, your power. He is the God of Israel, the God of Yasharallah. Oh, wait, he's the God of everybody. No, he's a personal God to the children of Israel. That's a difference. He personally know you, has a personal relationship with you. It's so personal that he sent his son to die on your behalf. That's how personal it is. Right, so let's finish this video.
Vast majority of cases.
Oh, and the water for the brothers that was dropping the precepts, and through the spirit for anybody else, brothers that might be watching this video later or sharing this video. The water. Again, it's all Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The water Yahweh Shem Yahushai for allowing us to be edifying, allowing this lesson to come out. Right, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well and teach well. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth in the same spirit. Lord willing that y'all all continue to endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Akwat Yam, believers of his faith and his truth. Continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the most to have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Abal. Let's finish this video.
Our fear of black men is in no way connected to our personal experience. And if that wasn't unfair enough, study after study has shown, you know this, that fear of black men doesn't even spring primarily from racism. It's deeper than that. And that's not fair to black people or white people. Most black men have experienced what some people refer to as the fearful gaze of white men and women. Then on the other side of the equation is this: the majority of African Americans in our country, they don't trust the criminal justice system, do you? I mean, you fear the police. That's not fair. Blacks don't care. The white people who have all but silenced their fear of black men are the white people who have befriended black men or have been befriended by black men and their families. I've been to my share of, far right-leaning churches and churches that lean far left, and it's so much easier for those pastors. I mean, everybody pretty much agrees on everything, and everybody else is just going to hell, right? It is not enough not to be a racist. It is not enough not to be a racist. Non-racist is not the goal. Being non-racist does nothing to address racism. Rich, who again is a fairly liberal columnist, and wrote a piece, I think it was in the New York Times, right after or right before the election, where he said that, basically racism is not a problem anymore because when white folks get to know black folks, well, their biases and their fears subside. Now, number one, I'm not sure that's true. But secondly, even if it were true, the truth is, given the history of racism, spatial segregation, residential isolation, the fact that 85% of white folks live in communities with virtually no people of color around, even if he were right, it wouldn't matter because most white folks won't get that opportunity to actually form close, intimate friendships or connections with people of color. And unfortunately, if it isn't happening, the only way we get to know folks of color is via media. So maybe we see Barack Obama on television coming into our living rooms every night, and over an 18-month to 2-year period, we're able to say, yeah, I sort of like that guy. He seems really capable and really bright. Maybe I wasn't sure at first, but given 2 years, he was able to overcome, maybe my first impression. But the only other folks we're seeing in the media are either folks who are sort of superstars on the one hand, or criminals on the other hand. Those are the black folks we typically see on TV. They're either like mega millionaire athletes or entertainers, or they're the folks doing a perp walk on the 6 o'clock news that the cops have just gone arrested and haven't even let them put a shirt on before cuffing them and bringing them out in front of the cameras. If the only people you see regularly are superstar millionaires and thugs, for the average person, they can't relate to either of those, right? The average person of color can't, and the average white person can't either. The superstar you're likely to envy their position, and the thug you're afraid of. And envy and fear are not particularly good human emotions upon which to base some personal connections or intimate relationships. So I think that's what we're dealing with. You know, Barack Obama or Bill Cosby or Oprah Winfrey or a handful of people of color, we're able to get to know them, or at least we think we know them via media. But for average everyday white folks and for average everyday black and brown folks, the ability to really get to know each other and overcome those implicit biases is a lot more rare. White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you want to get ready for the future, if you want to be treated well in the future, treat others well in the present. There was a real fear that if you let blacks get control, everything would change. And there was no, with some people, there was no idea that there would be any fairness or any democracy or anything, you know, that there would be a well-run city government, county government, whatever. It was like, if this happens, we're lost. And it was just a terrible fear. Southerners are